welcome back to the channel. My name is Samson, the roadman, and today guys, of course, we are here at Seedco Field Day, and this is where a lot of farmers have actually gathered, coming from all walks of life, and I mean from different parts of Zambia. So the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is actually going to be addressing the farmers. So watch this video from start to the end, and make sure that if you just bump into it, give it a thumbs up. That really helps. Let's go. So let's just show you the president is actually has already started touring the field. So let's just cross and then we'll show you from the other side.
You guys come this side.
Realize that those that are areas that are drier, those that are wet, so the varieties that we have. This one, this is fine, it's already senescent, it's very
What is senescent?
oh, yes. So senescent is good means that don't get full maturity, and that doesn't help you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's gray area, and you can also do well because places like the southern part of the country. But this is fine, it's cross-cutting. So even when go to the leader, develop the skills, we also look at adaptation. Why the cost? That's well. No one is a product that will be one that those
We recognize you, the great work that you're doing. Let me acknowledge the presence of farmers for whom this field day matters the most. Farmers, small, all sizes of farmers. And I'm also happy to recognize those that are making decisions to become farmers. I was saying in the tent there that farming is not what you do because you are retired. You start farming early. Early. It's profession, it's a business. You grow with it. You wait for retirement, you'll be too tired to start farming, especially to uptake the technologies that are essential to improving, for example, yields. Let me acknowledge other colleagues that are here from different fields, because farming is not just the direct farmers, but it's also suppliers of goods and services to the agricultural sector. You too are recognized, the media, may I say, ladies and gentlemen. But I can't forget the community around here. The community around here who are part of Seedco, this ecosystem in this vicinity. We recognize you. Even by the sheer fact that they are taking care of this asset, we appreciate. Let me proceed with my brief messages. I have listened to the Chair's message attentively. That's what I do. My Minister's message attentively. And also the message that came from the technical teams as we went round to view various plots. I call them plots. Some to demonstrate the capabilities of certain varieties, but others trial plots as part of the research. So I listened to all of that and sucked it in, but also put other things that are based on my little experience as a farmer. Mr. Chairman, let me say it's a pleasure, truly a pleasure, to officiate at this year's Field Day. I know you've said that I'm the first head of state to come to officiate at these Field Days. Yes, as head of state, but as you stated, Seedco is part of us. We are part of Seedco from a long way back. So we're very delighted that I come today in my role as the servant of the people to officiate at the 2026 Seedco Field Day. Thank you for inviting me. Sometimes presidents take it for granted that they're entitled to be guests of honor everywhere. It is not true. So we appreciate the invitation, Mr. Chairman. Madam Bonani, we appreciate the invitation. Yes, you have articulated well the theme of this year's Field Day, Innovation for Sustainable Productivity. Productivity is one of our major challenges in agriculture. In our quest, Minister, as you articulated, to achieve the 10-1-1 vision. The 10-1-1 vision, 10 million tons of maize, 1 million tons of wheat, 1 million tons of soybean. To achieve this 10-1-1 vision, there are many things that we need to do as a sector, as an economy, country. But one amongst those important things is higher levels of productivity. We are too inefficient in this economy, generally in different sectors. But specifically in agriculture, there is no reason why with the technology available, connectivity, digital platforms, applications, apps, as the young people call them, but also the advancement in education overall, and also the availability of data from across the world through on our fingertips to know what Vietnam is doing in agriculture, to know what Brazil is doing, the big boys in Brazil and Argentina, to know what other countries are doing on this continent. It's on our fingertips because of connectivity, global connectivity. There is no reason why somebody whose preoccupation is farming to produce less than 2 tons per hectare of maize. It is not right. And I think the theme is correct, that we need to be innovative so we can deliver higher yields of productivity. I think we should apply our minds properly, deeply, extensively. I am talking about benchmarking here. Why is it other farmers can do what we're not doing here? Why are we cutting more trees to increase the hectares? We don't need to do that because the fields that we have can give us 3, 4, 5 times what we're producing, and we can save the trees given climate change challenges that we face by utilizing the 1 hectare we have already cleared, 2 hectares, 5 hectares. Just imagine, you produce 1.8 tons per hectare, but through what Seedco and others are doing, and other applications, other facilities, you can raise this to 5, 6, 7 tons, 8 tons per hectare. You've tripled, more than tripled your production on the same hectare, and you produce more. We'll have food security at the household level. We will have enough excess crop to sell to those in the urban settings. We will have more than what we need to sell for domestic consumption. We will have enough to sell to the neighboring countries and beyond SADC, to East Africa, to West Africa, to North Africa. This country has every endowment, every element of the endowment to realize our dream of being the food basket for the rich. Everything is here. So why are we not achieving that? Let us focus on increasing our productivity. And I will cover a few things that requires us to put together in a basket. Yes, Seedco, we appreciate the things that you're doing on the genetic side. But I'll cover these in summary so that I put context to the key messages that should come out of here. As Seedco has already done its part, and it does its part every year, including bringing us together so we can share knowledge, experiences. So yes, we must tick the box that we need to increase productivity at all levels of farming, micro, small, medium, large. We must sing that hymn of higher productivity as we go in our fields, and it will become embedded in our gray matter, our subconscious, that it's not just going to fields, it's going to fields doing what is necessary to improve productivity, and everything will fall in place. 10-1-1 vision will be achieved with higher productivity. I see people always club production and productivity. The two are slightly different. Productivity connotes efficiencies, higher returns on investments. And when we have higher productivity per hectare, for example, maize, wheat, soybeans, we can then roll out to the overall increase in production. But the key is higher levels of productivity first, even at half a hectare and 1 hectare. And most families, for their own food security, don't even need to plow or to plant more than a hectare. A family of 8, 10, how much mshima do you eat per year? You see what I mean? So 1 hectare is enough to produce food for yourself. The second, third, fourth, fifth hectare are for business. That's the way we should look at it. For my sins of the past, let's stop looking at farming as a pastime. Farming is a business. In Pindu, November, big business. I was saying to my colleagues in the tech there that for years a fellow like me was ridiculed when I entered politics because a farmer was viewed to be dull, unintelligent, incapable of leading a country. How can you connect things so wrongly? And I say, one family in America has produced presidents of America, father and son, and both of them are Texan farmers. George Bush Sr., rancher farmer. George Bush Jr., son, rancher and farmer from Texas. Here, we consider farmers as low-class people. But every breakfast you are eating, you just look for salt to add. Every lunch, nigga, you don't lunch. Just take your lunch. But you ignore where that food is coming from. You demean dinner. Kachedo kazima. Wangu kazima karibu. Some husbands even fight their wives for cooking late. Then you start in your imagination thinking that farmers are lesser class people. We must move out of that ignorance. No farmer, no food, no future. Simple. No farmer, no food, no future. See what this government is doing. After introducing free education, we realized it was not enough. We had to remove examination fees. We realized it was not enough. We had to employ more teachers. We realized it was not enough. We had to build more classroom space. We realized it was not enough. We had to build more water and sanitation facilities. We still realized it was not enough. We gave meal allowances. We realized it was not enough. We had to bring the school feeding program in order to complete the story of freedom. I hope you can see what I'm emphasizing here. And since we did that, absence of pupils in school has gone down. Are you surprised that since independence, last year, 2025, with this combination of measures, including feeding our kids and meal allowances restored, we now have the highest pass rate in the public schools ever. Thank you to farmers. Thank you to the farmers of Zambia. Micro, small, medium, large. Non-farmers, can you clap for us farmers? That's non-farmers. Mtanderes, ziko mkwambe, kwa totela mko. Tataizi ya tosali, taonga shomeni. Taonga Chomena. So, I'm so delighted to see farmers, my fellow farmers, our fellow farmers from across the country. But I'm also very happy to see suppliers to the agriculture sector. Suppliers, Seedco, you the host. We're very happy that you've been doing this over and over. May we clap for Seedco. Ibe baku East Dimakambati uzakolola zomwe unabyala. Zote? Mwamba uzakolola zomwe unabyala. You are going to harvest. Your harvest will reflect what you planted. The seed. Quality of seed. So, this thing and what Seedco you're doing aligns with the national agricultural structures of this country. Completely. Agriculture, food is national security. Mwamba. Munogongwe. Agriculture, food is national security. Without agriculture, without food, the country could be unstable. Some of you are young, you don't remember 1989. Some of you are young. Muziberenga, mleishi wotuntu. Muziberenga, 1988-89. The food shortages in this country signal the change of government. That's why your government worked very hard during the drought, the West drought in living memory. And this president declared that nobody would die of hunger. And truly across the country, we were able to marshal resources, skills, platforms to ensure that everybody had food to keep them alive during the difficult year of hunger. So food, agricultural food is national security. It's stability of the nation. Even munganda na mwinabo toletija kulya tajibulemeka kubulemeka mugaita. Ngati zubweza vakudya mamuna mpanganda akazi vakuonera mwinamo. Ati tali mlombana. Usama wakuroge, tali mlombana. So if you want stable marriages, you men, provide for your families, especially food. You can have no Colgate in the house for a day or two, but you cannot afford to have no food for 2 days in the house. The blanket may be torn in the house, but you will survive, your marriage will survive. But if there is no food, your children start going to the neighbors. So Seedco, this is how strategic your business and the work that you do, together with other state companies. I make the point that agriculture, food is national security. Absence of it, the flip side is national insecurity. So we appreciate the work you are doing, the research and development, the investment that you make. Just this shade that we're sitting in. I was asking my colleague, Mr. Kavaya, what do you use this shade for? I'm inquisitive myself. That's how God created. I want to learn, I want to know more things. So what do you use this shade for when there's no day like this? He said, we use it for training. Training, skills. Before you buy that seed, including what we've launched today. And by the way, let's congratulate Seedco for the launch of the Before you can see that variety launched, there was a lot of work behind. Science, right? Genetics, training, in addition to classroom training, through school, college, training here. Then plots there, pilot plots. And again, more training, more research, yes or no to this combination. Lots of biology there. And then we can talk about variety like this. It comes out of a lot of work. So we farmers must not waste the seed. When we spend money on the seed, or the government gives you seed through FISIP, osa unonga mbeu. Osa pasa nkugu mbeu. Give the nkugu the ordinary maize, not seed. After all, it's treated, But even if it were not treated, that seed is more valuable than the ordinary chimanga. I hope we are together. Got the deal for food security, national security. I'm also happy that Seedco, you are engaged in skills transfer. Skills transfer. The ambition of higher yields, very important. Celebrate that. The revival of agriculture after the drought. I want to thank the farmers across the country for what you did. Immediately after the drought, President encouraged even civil servants. I want to declare, announce here that there is a financing institution under the civil service, in the civil service, that lends money to civil servants. When you elected us in office, I looked at it and I changed this paradigm. First, the interests were, I think, 19 or so percent. We dropped the interest rate to 9%, from 19 to 9%, around there. What else did we do? The president said, don't lend money to these civil servants to buy fridges, to buy cars. Lend money for them to buy tractors, to buy seed, to buy implements, so that they too can be productive. And a number of them went into production after the drought. And we had again the largest maize production since independence immediately after the drought. May we clap for the farmers. So we celebrated. Our vision of being the regional food basket is in sight. Those who thought it's distant, is far away, Kule, it is now in the vicinity. So we have a new challenge, marketing, offtake. So your government is working hard to ensure that we find a market for you. Private sector, we should work together to offtake what farmers produce after good seed varieties. They produce higher yields, we should expect higher production. So we must work as one ecosystem to offtake the produce as much as possible, process it here. And I'm here to reinforce what I've said already, Chairman Kawai, that this government will not close again the Zambia-DRC border. We want that border open continuously. When we close that border, we lost the market for mealmeal to South Africa. People don't understand these things. And a lot of people were throwing stones at me when, during the drought, I said, we are not going to shut the border. Because they wanted this president to send soldiers to shut the border. I said, what sort of thinking is that? When we reach 4 million tons, last year, 3.7 million tons, we're already sitting on too much maize. And I told people, what do we do when we achieve our 5 million, 10 million tons? We need the markets in the region. I said, sasa wazame nani mcheka umecheshi. Ama kuenda kukalculate malingo. We use a calculator to realize when we increase our production, we need offtake markets in Congo, in Malawi, then we calculate. So let us tolerate each other and learn something from each other. We shut the markets 10 years back. And South Africa now took over our milk market in Katanga, Lualaba, and Tanganyika. So we are now coming from behind Chairman Chancellor, to reclaim our market, and there's a cost to that. So no more opening markets into the regional countries. We just want to organize market arrangements. Organize so that there's no smuggling. Let's consider the smugglers as our customers. Let's make our produce available for them in the ordinary way, so they don't have to move it in the night. And then we ask the military to cordon. So that's what we're working on now, to have structured markets. And I'm pleased to say to you, after great difficulty, trying to snatch the market back from South Africa, FRIA, I think last week, signed a contract for 480,000 metric tons of milling into Congo. I think for you, Koila and others who like numbers like me, it means actually close to 600,000 metric tons of maize in order to mill 480,000 metric tons of milling. Value-added product, keeping our milling jobs here, yes, production jobs here. That's the agenda. That's the agenda. So I'm inviting citizens that when your government is exposing a vision, pay attention. Temporal drought, hunger should not lead to closing markets, because you need those markets. Otherwise, someone takes away those markets. Then we come from behind. So now our job together, Seedco chair, seed companies, farmers, union, livestock, we work together to develop markets which are permanent, so that if Congo can say to us, Zambia, give us milling and maize combined every year of 2 million tons, then we can go back to Seedco and say, and the farmers, we want that tonnage for Congo alone every year. That's what we're working on. Contract production. Then Seedco, more seed. Then everybody's happy. But all the time we secure the domestic demand, domestic markets. We feed our children first, then we feed other people. But we do need other people to grow this economy. Is that difficult? Is that understanding difficult? So why should we quarrel and call each other names? I hope I'm making a point. I think we've already talked about the impact of Seedco as chairman, and I'm very pleased myself that in the early years we were able to work together with this chairman and other people, even moving to this site. A lot of people thought it was crazy, moving from the headquarters location in Makeni area there. Makeni, that's Makeni. But see what this place is now. Look at the pilot plots there, trial plots. There was nothing like that. Here, there's a lot. And that also has an infectious effect that the farmers around, I'm sure they've converted, a lot of farmers around now can do seed. Then, more benefits. So thank you to Seedco. I'm very happy to hear your online shop. Online shop, very important. And by the way, you heard, and I just want to repeat what we said. Cabinet last week sat and approved a 24-hour economy. We want the purchase of seed to continue for 24 hours in a day. That's how you grow the economy. And I've seen my friends, competitors in the opposition say, Hakainde wenye, Boza, security issues. As we declared free education, we realized that we brought back to school 2.5 million children. We then allocated money to build more classrooms and to buy desks. I didn't even mention the desks. It is a trigger visionary decision, then that leads us to pattern up the weak areas. But we don't fail to pronounce the vision and you are waiting until everything is in line. No, that vision is what will drive now more investment in security to protect our people over the 24-hour economy. I believe that factory, where was it, the seed factory in Tuba, this side, it should be working 24/7. shifts. If it's not working with shifts, that way we're taking a one night. Because by having a shift in that seed factory, we can employ more people, more youth will need jobs. It's not difficult. One of my colleagues, when we were at AU meeting, we had coffee together. So the economy is struggling, right? Just like where we were in 2021. It's struggling. So, and he's older in the presidency than me. He's been there 10 years, I think he's in his third term. He said, what magic are you playing, HH? I said, there's no magic. What we're doing are just ordinary, necessary things. It is small issues like not to cross the border again, so we can have a permanent market which will work backwards into a field to produce more maize. It's those things. It is the things around debt restructuring, it's the things around reforms, energy reforms, reforms in electricity and petroleum. Look at our price of fuel now. We are almost the lowest in the region, but we don't produce fuel. It's because of the reforms we put in there, open access. I know most of you don't see this thing. We need a fair price fuel in order to lower the cost of producing maize and other things. So my colleague was saying, look, what magic are you doing there? We are struggling here. I said, Ulimbe boy, Obviously, he's my colleague, he's my senior in the presidency, so I gave him a few things that we're doing. We all face the same drought, but we're able to rebound on electricity and on food production because of the push and the reforms in agriculture and health. So I think it's important that we work as an economy with a shared vision of where we want to go. So I'm happy with the online shop, with the 24-hour economy. I think it's also important that the continued investment Seedco is making must be applauded, and your leadership, chair, management, will appreciate it. I want to say to you that the issues of leadership should not be underplayed. You come here and see what Seedco is doing. It's about leadership. Everything has to do with leadership. Everything. You can have the money, you can have the seed, you can have the farm, you can have the water. If there's no leadership, proper leadership, it doesn't work. And this country must place a premium, a high premium on leadership and the quality of it in all areas, even in traditional leadership. Where the chief is not active in the chiefdom, people are quarreling every day, adultery every day. And no, where there is leadership, there is dialogue, there is reconciliation, there is bringing people together. I'm a headman, I know what goes on in my village. Yes, I'm a standing headman, but I get involved. Leadership is paramount. I hope the country will pay attention to that. Let me also simply say, your varieties have made a difference. Continue doing what is right. Government policy of the comprehensive agricultural transformation support program is aligned to what we are doing here today. And we are talking about total agriculture. Colleagues over there, we are talking about total agriculture. Agriculture is not in isolation. It's not just seed. Yes, it's seed. But we are talking about total agriculture, genetics, drought resistant, high yield, disease resistant, right? All of these issues are important. But we are talking about husbandry overall, management, leadership, extension, by government, by companies. They are all a package. We are talking about crops. We are talking about livestock. We are talking about agricultural trees now. I think next month or so I'll be opening, we are now the largest avocado production from one site. and that is in Kawamba. Did you know that? Choma is coming up in the avocado, agricultural trees, plantations, very important. But Kawamba is the largest, one of the largest on the continent, a single location, with a processing plant. More money for Wakula. Many people thought Wakula cannot produce things. There we are. There we are. So I am saying crops, trees. Why should we import juices from other countries? Guavas will grow from any location. Oranges, nutches. That is the classic we're talking about. We're talking about grasses. Chairman Kawai, we ranchers are saying introduce seed for grasses as well. Shanga grass so that we can predict the food for our livestock. After all, we use our oxen to plow. So give us the food for our oxen. After all, you drink milk. For us to give you milk, give us the seed for fodder. Water harvest, very important. Water harvest, very important. For irrigation, precision irrigation, very important. Agro-processing, equipment providers. Fertilizer, we talked about. Chemicals, know-how, everything. That is CASA, Comprehensive Agricultural Transformation Support Program. Climate change is here. Let's adapt. Let's deliver in agriculture jobs, businesses, incomes, of course, reducing the import bill. I know most of you are seeing the kwacha appreciating and saying, how is it happening? It's not magic. Everything is deliberate, it's calculated, everything. We increase the export revenue, that's why we restored the mines. We did a lot of work there to increase the export revenue, but also to depress the import bill. And to depress the import bill is to produce from here and process from here. So when the supply of foreign exchange increases, the demand goes down, right? Supply goes up of foreign exchange through exports, copper, and others, tourism. I started at the same level. I like using my 2 pounds. So the export revenues goes up, the import demand for dollars comes down, this gap grows, it means the currency stabilizes. That's why you see the kwacha behaving like that. Some of you think it's magic, it's abracadabra. No. It's pulling things together. And we want to thank the farmers for reducing what we import, which demand dollars, food and other things. There's no reason we should be importing cornflakes. We should make all the cornflakes, all of them. Madam Zambia, MD, opportunity. I just want that to stand up. A young lady is the chief executive of Zambia, one of our largest agro companies. Stand up and wave at me. So, that is the issue. I say climate change is here, let's adapt. Digital is part of the theme, technology, research, productivity. To encourage farmers to do what is right. As a government, we commit to strong public-private partnership. And I want to comment, Mr. Chairman, here. Fighting crime in agriculture is priority number 1 now. You don't want people to come and take the maize there, which is on trial plots, because it will distort the research going on. Crime, fake seed, theft of equipment, theft of livestock. I am pleased to tell you that we'll be further enhancing the legislation in two aspects. One, we are taking agriculture, livestock as energy assets, as economic assets. Therefore, you steal these things, you sell fake seed, you'll be tried under the Economic and Financial Crimes Court. And that trial will not take 10 years, it will take 5 months. That's the difference. Quick trial, and if you're found guilty, second issue, stiffer punishment. Also, Sovera now we because exactly a terror, national insecurity. So I think you'll be happy on two elements of reclassification of assets in agriculture to economic assets, and then to go through the Economic and Financial Crimes Court and stiffer penalties and quicker prosecution. We believe this combination will reduce crime in agriculture, including those who are selling fake seed. So let's just work together in that space. I think I want to close by saying, God bless our farmers. Micro, small, medium, large. God bless our farmers. God bless Seedco, supporting our farmers. And God bless our beloved country, the country we love so much, the country God gave so much. God bless Zambia. Thank you very much. Itumeza huru, liko mafambili, see you in the next one. Bye. Press the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.